Hello, welcome back to WWTA Gaming. Hey man, welcome back. Obviously I want to talk about something. That's why I'm doing a video. Hey, look, what do you want to talk about, bruh? I really want to talk about some. I'm playing GTA. Y'all notice I talked about it 1,000 times. I intend to play Red Dead Redemption, but I gotta play as much as I can with this GTA because I'm still pretty much learning that game. But I'm definitely excited about Red Dead Redemption 2, so don't get it twisted. Um, had another conversation with a good buddy of mine, and we got to talking, and so I'm playing the game. I play the game invite only, and I do that mainly because of all the madness that happens online. But I prefer to play online, and there's a reason I prefer to play online. I prefer to play online because you do have the potential risk of people attacking you and slowing you down from whatever your main objectives are, and that's pretty interesting. That adds a little bit of flavor to the game. And for those of you who play GTA Online, you're well aware of that. But you're also well aware of the fact that the players are using all of these mods to um, just do unnecessary damage. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going to be, let's say for instance, somebody's riding around and they're attacking and blah blah blah. Well, I will attack you back, and I'd be happy doing that because that's what pretty much happens online. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually fun and entertaining. But when the person that you're playing is in a God mode where you can't affect them, or they can multiply themselves by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, um, then it becomes like, what? There's no fun in that. There's no fun. I think they call this griefers or whatever. I mean, ugh. But there's no fun in that. And so the discussion we were having was, well, how come GTA doesn't fix that? And I'm sure it's not that they don't have any intentions of fixing it. It's probably just something difficult for them to do. So, we were discussing things about, well, how could they actually deal with that? My friend was telling me, like, look, bruh, in this one game I played, they will, actually ban your account. Like, you can't use that account no more. It's done. It's gone. It's done. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that's kind of hardcore. And then I started thinking about older games I played, like World of Warcraft. So in World of Warcraft, what happens is people will run multiple windows of World of Warcraft, and so then they would do that, which means they had to have multiple accounts, which means they had to buy 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 accounts or codes accounts for that game. So they would have 10 copies of that game running, window box after window box after window box, and then they will put all those other boxes or games of those other copies running. They would have that character follow the main character because they make a group and put them all in the same group. So then they would pretty much zerg the map, doing all the missions, killing everything off. You know what I'm saying? And that was their way of not only multiplying their money, but actually being in a group and just utterly destroying everything, right? So that's been going on forever. But what World of Warcraft did was they started banning the account, like indefinite, done, over with. You got to go buy another account. So it would be a lot more interesting if, while I was in the online mode, playing in a public lobby, that the person that attacked me, I could literally attack them back, and they could die just like I could die. And so they could chase just like I could chase. And that, they weren't, multiplying themselves and using these mods to pretty much just, I don't even know, like, how do we get to a point where it's more fun to just just literally, be unkillable and literally just go around killing everybody and be unkillable. Like, I don't know how we got to a point where anybody found that that was entertaining because Competition is usually a skill-based thing. That's how person versus person games exist, But in the conversation, we were talking about how there are some games that deal with this. Now, so then here's the thought: what if you had to have of course, you have an activation code when you purchase the game, and that is attached to your account. Now, what if you were caught doing these mods and then your activation code was literally just canceled for bad conduct, right? I know in the game now they pay you like 2,000 bucks or something every so often while playing the game for good behavior. I would say, why can't they deduct money from your account for for bad behavior? And then also with the banning of an account, like, so just imagine that, okay, yes, Grand Theft Auto goes on sale periodically, but let's just imagine the game's at 29 bucks, right? And because you continue to, use these mods and do these things that actually hinder people from playing the game and takes all of the entertainment value out of the game for the casual or regular players that play the game on a regular basis, um, they canceled your activation code. And then you had to literally go buy another activation code, which means you would have to spend 29 bucks to repurchase the game to get another activation code and then register it to your account. Now there's a history, obviously, because now your account, unless you create a new account, is showing that you're having to reactivate the game, right? So obviously they know that your account you're using, you're cheating the system or modding and using these exploits, right? So of course that exists. Now, how do they do that on a global scale? I don't know, because people play this game everywhere. But I just know that when we look at other games like World of Warcraft, they ban your account indefinitely. It's done, right? They just get rid of the activation, let them go buy it again. And so, the only reason I even think about these things is because you have a lot of people that play games that are aggravated and then they turn away from a game. They don't want to play it anymore. And then so that's what happens. They lose player count. And so, one, that's bad for the business, but it's really bad for the actual gamer that might really enjoy that game. Now, I'm not sure how Rockstar intends to continue to deal with these things. But just think about that for a second, right? They do pay you for good behavior in the game, so why couldn't they do something like charge you or penalize you? For your bad behavior. Like, what if they penalized you? I don't know, $50,000, right? What if, you know, um, yeah, they just penalize you 50K every time. Now, of course, it doesn't matter because these people use mods to give themselves money and bring money into the game, so that probably wouldn't matter either. But I don't know if every 20 minutes that you're in the game and you're continuing to, uh, grieve or whatever the case may be, or not even so much that, because how, that's just something difficult to think about, right? What's actually bad behavior versus good behavior? Like I would say the only thing that would make the thing bad, makes the game bad, is the fact that you can bring all these mods in. And these people use mod menus, and I don't know how, like, how does it work I don't know how it works, is what I'm saying. But how would they know that somebody just ported in the game using a mod menu and they're doing these nefarious things, so on. So how would they know that? You know what I'm saying? That's like a really good question. If anybody knows that, drop that in the comment section. That's just a really good question. Like, how would Rockstar know about who's mm, using recode and rescripts and different things in their game? Like, how would they know that? You know what I'm saying? And I would only imagine, guessing that, like, just like in World of Warcraft, people had to be reported, and as they are reported for the things that they were doing, that is what got them kicked out of the game. So it's like it's sad that they had to do that. Let me just say that it's sad that somebody has to, like, oh my God, I have to report this person that's running 5, 10 versions of the game right now, that's running around and da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? So, mm, I mean, it's a sad day that people have to do that. But I would just wonder, like, how could they know? You know what I'm saying? And why? I guess the real question is, I saw a video, a YouTuber that I watch had a quick interview with a modder. The videos couldn't be more than 2, 3 days old. It was a very recent video. I just can't remember the channel offhand. And the modder goes on to say he initially started modding in the game to protect him and his friends. I was like, okay, that's pretty interesting. Then he goes on to say it's also fun and cool different things you can do. Okay. Then he goes on to say it's been some time he's been doing it, and Rockstar hasn't done anything about it. So then to me, that means that then they don't know you're doing it, right? Maybe they just don't know. So how would they know you're doing it? And then, he goes on to say, there are a few things that he thinks could possibly be done, but he does say it becomes boring after a while doing that, because what fun is it? And, just imagine for a second if you play GTA. Um, you're running across the map or something, you're driving or whatever, and somebody targets you and blows your car up with a missile. So you're like, oh yeah, oh that's what we doing now. You get hyped up and you're like, all right. So you pop back on the map and you see the little dot and you're like, all right, it's game time, player. I guess we gonna go at each other, right? So then you try to go tit for tat is what you're thinking, right? So you know what I'm saying, you might pull out your sniper rifle, pop over a little fence and be like, there he is, boop boop boop, and then nothing happens. You're like, what? He just ate those. Like, that was weird. Boop, boop, boop. Nothing. Oh, wow. God mode, right? Oh, he must be in God mode. Surely he's in God mode because he's not bothered. So then, he shoots a missile at you and boom, you die again, right? So then it's like, oh, well, this sucks. So then when you come back, you're like, I don't even want to chase him no more because you really can't kill him. But you're like, well, you know what? I'm still going to try. And it's like, well, you can't try killing somebody on God mode unless I've seen that thing they do with tanks. So you have to have a tank and you have to run over top of them, which pretty much locks them. It locks them in a way they can't get out. So then they have to exit the game. But I don't even think that's really killing them though. That's just kind of like locking them, and they can't do anything. Um, so so you're like, all right, I come back. You get the rocket launcher. You're like, I'm just gonna shoot, and you just shoot and shoot and shoot, and nothing happens. And then so after the few, and then they start, spawning right over top of you to prove to you that even if I'm right in front of you, you can't kill me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, now they're using the menu, the mod menus, and they're popping around the screen, following you, doing all these different things. You can't kill them, and so it's just weird, right? It's like it's just weird. And then it's like, so there really isn't, you know what I'm saying, anything fun about it. I've actually been in some different missions. I think I was in a survival mission, and I think this person was in God mode, so they just couldn't die, and they were just killing everything over and over and over and over, and everybody else would get to a certain level, and it's like boom, one shot, and we're dead. So it's like, ugh, we realized that we need to do, uh, you know, get better at playing the game to try to survive longer. But the other person in the survival mission didn't have that thought whatsoever because they were already using these mods that made them unkillable. So then the question is, where's the fun in that, right? But maybe they were doing it just for an achievement. Maybe they were doing it for money. Who knows? I don't know. But it does bring to the point, like, why? Like, so you go back to the interview, it's like, why? Then the guy says, well, it does make the game boring. So when you're cheating in a game, eventually it becomes boring. Like, why would you even cheat in the game? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm playing a game and you beat me up bad and I can't, well, you're better at the game than me. Kudos, man. I give you your props. You're a great player. Um, I envy you. You must, have taken the time to master your technique, and it's great. I strive to be something like you, but I'm sure I can't be as good as you, but I'll strive because I learned something valuable here. If I just figure out and think about and try to learn, I might get better. I'm gonna tell you right now, like, first person shooter games, I think they're the coolest games of all, but I don't never have enough time to sit there and practice. To be able to fire off as fast. Like I watch these videos. This is so off topic, but it is on topic. I watch these videos, and these people like be on the corner of a wall, and they'll tilt their gun and they'll tilt their head and they'll pop out for a second, like boop, and they'll shoot. And they put their head back, put the gun back, and they'll pop back out, boop, boop, and they'll shoot. And for some reason, their eyes and their hand coordination is so fast that when they pop their head around that corner and you can see what they see the target and pop. I'm like, wow, that's that takes a lot of skill, right? So I'm looking at it like, yeah, that takes a lot of skill, and I don't have that skill. So I envy those players. You know what I'm saying? So it's no different than any other game. You know, but you might be better than some people at some point in time while you're playing the game, and a lot of times you might be worse. I mean, that's just how it goes. It's you imagine you're playing people from all over the world. You know what I'm saying? People that really love a game. So it's going to be hard to deal with people that really love a game that eat, sleep, and breathe that game. But that's just how it goes. Okay? It's when you're dealing in PvP, you're dealing in person versus person. So you don't know how skillful and technical the next person you're going to play is going to be. And that's with all these games. You know what I'm saying? So that's a highlight to it. But when you can't do that because someone is in a mode to where they can't be killed, then it takes all the fun out of it. You don't even want to do it. You're like, well, I don't even want to play in public lobby because there's always so many of these people there that'll just literally, as they say, quote unquote, grieve you, right? So it goes back to that one question. Well, what could Rockstar really do, right? And so I just say, like, I don't know. Can they actually ban your account and then you have to constantly, every time you get banned, buy a new copy for a new reactivation code, right? Would that deter people if you have to spend money over and over and over again just to do that? Like, is it worth it? Is it worth me running these cheats and mods, right? So that when I get caught, I have to spend money to buy another activation code to come back and do it all over again. So it's like I'm spending money to do this, and then that account gets banned. So all that stuff I spent money on, well, now I got to buy the game again, right? And then I have to bring all that stuff back into this game, right? So what do I have to do, right? So I've already bought a mod menu. Well, I don't know how that stuff works, right? I would only assume if you bought it, does it get attached to that account? Like, how does that work? You know what I'm saying? So actually, I don't want to know. I'm not interested. I'm just trying to imagine what they're going through to get this stuff done. So if it's involving money for them to constantly do these things, if they have to keep putting out money because their account gets banned, then wouldn't that kind of make you say, okay, well, maybe I'm tired of doing that because I have to spend a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So, and then there's the other thing, like maybe Rockstar, they should produce a what do you say, a test version of the game, which is open to the public, where you can go and create and do things, and it's just like a public test round. Okay, so if you want to go in there and you want to, create crazy things and do things with mods, that's what it's for. So they can understand what mods people really want, what mods are good for the game, what mods are bad for the game, and then, like I said before, they can start paying modders for the things that they invent and create. You know what I'm saying? And therefore, at that point, everybody's in a good situation where people are making money, which puts Rockstar in a position where they can continue to make money or even more money. And then you have a outlet to do all the crazy things you want to do when you're coming up with these crazy ideas. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something that I'm just, maybe that will work. I'm not sure. It's just an idea, just a thought. But anyways, yeah, before I get too long-winded with this video, it was just some thoughts I had crossing my mind. And if anyone else has thoughts about that, feel free, get in the comments section, share your thoughts. Anyways, I'll close there, and I'll catch you all on the next episode.